Hello and welcome. This is Penang, and today I'd like to talk to you about the new patch, or more or less about the new cards, because we didn't get any balance changes. And because we didn't get any balance changes, I thought maybe this is a good time to talk about why we didn't get any and about the current status of balancing, because apparently, as you can read here, the devs Counterplay Games are thinking that the game is in a quite stable situation right now, and it's not necessary yet to do balancing. And they basically, what this text says is they want to take a step back to slow down the balance changes. And I can agree with that. If you've been playing for some time, you might remember the journey Science Third Wish took, right? Got from very OP to somewhat OP to very OP again, and then somewhat useless, and it took several iterations until we arrived at the point it is right now. And the thing is, if it gets changed too fast, too often, after some time, people don't really know what to expect, what to do anymore with this card, and it's very difficult to get used to the new changes. And I think it's a good step to slow it down a little bit. Right now, in my opinion, there aren't things that are blatantly overpowered. There are some things that are probably underpowered, but to buff those up, or to change them, is a difficult process, because Duelist is such a complex game. If you change a small thing, other things might be influenced that you didn't even think of, and I think it's a good thing that devs are taking more time to do those changes. So I hope they don't wait too long, like for example Hearthstone. I think one of the most overpowered cards never ever got changed, not even nerfed, not even changed, and that's not a good example. I hope Duelist doesn't follow their footsteps, and we will just have to see. So for now, if you think a card is overpowered, play it, have fun with it. Apparently, it's not overpowered enough so that the devs are gonna change it. This is a very nice, very interesting change. So when you reach Diamond or S rank, you now start at rank 11, which is one rank away from gold rank. So people, new players and old players, don't have to compete. I think that's a great change. It's small, but it's very significant for the new players, because imagine you're very new, you go to silver rank, which is rank 20, and you face players from last month's S rank with their S rank decks and cards, and you get frustrated very fast because you just can't compete with them. And now S rank diamond players play 2, 3, 4 games and are gold rank. They don't clash with real silver ranked players anymore. I think that's great. Okay, we are already at the monthly cards. This has been a quick one. I think this is my this will be my fastest patch review of all times. And as always, we get 4 new cards, 1 of each rarity. And let's just start with the common theme. The common theme you can read here is tribal. They didn't add new tribals like last month. They expanded the tribal theme of Duelist, and we got 4 new cards for 4 different tribals. The common one is the Diamond Golem, another golem for 6 mana. As you can remember, Storm Metal Golem, the currently existing 6 mana golem, is an 8/8 for 6, which are 16 stats. This one, 4/11, is only 15 stats, so that in and of itself is already worse than Storm Metal Golem, because it has less combined stats, right? The stat distribution is very, very defensive for attack, and 11 health means it can trade up way more 2 and 3 drops than the Storm Metal Golem could, but it doesn't trade that great against other big dudes compared to the Storm Metal Golem. So the Diamond Golem is more or less a continuation of the same track the Bright Moss Golem goes. It pays 1 more mana for 2 more health. You can still deal good damage to the enemy general. It trades better than the Storm Metal Golem if you trade against small Zooey decks and those decks that fill the board with many small swarm minions. But if you want to have a big threat, Diamond Golem is not the way to go, because it's just as weak to hard removal as the Storm Metal Golem, but doesn't deal as much face damage because you need more time to do it, and if you take more turns, you give your enemy more turns to draw into a removal or some way to deal with it. So overall, I don't like this card that much. I think Bright Moss Golem already does the job good enough that Diamond Golem would do, which is removing many small minions, and this one is just, I don't know, way too overkill. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is very interesting. Adjudicator. It's an Arcanist. Has the same stats as the Alcuin Loremaster, and it has a very, let's say, similar effect, but not quite the same. What it does is it lowers all spells, the cost of all spells in your hand by 1. So when I say it does the same thing, I mean that both cards allow you to play more cards. However, Alcuin Lawmaster allows you to play more cards in total and over a long time, but Adjudicator allows you to play more cards in a shorter time. So while Alcuin Lawmaster more or less prolongs the game because you have more cards and have a bigger hand, Adjudicator shortens the game because you can play your hand faster, but both do the thing of you have more things to play. How viable is this card? I'm not so sure. That's not because I don't think it's good, it's because my experience are lacking. I haven't played Songhai or Spellhai or any spell-based decks for a long time. I've been playing Gauntlet a lot, and in Gauntlet, spells aren't that important. You have maybe 4 or 5 of those, and it doesn't matter if their mana is reduced by 1 or not. It doesn't matter too much. It's a constructed card, definitely, and it might be cool if you can play out your combo faster and like do an unexpected turn because the spells are just cheaper than your enemy expects it. But if it's, we will have to see how good it is. The next card I really like, the Structure Bastion. Structure means it cannot attack, never. Even if you dispel the card, it cannot attack. Even if you buff it, it does not gain attack buffs. So if you play like Songweaver on it, it's a 0/6, not a 1/6. So just keep in mind when you play this card. At the end of your turn, give other minions 1 health. And I think this is very interesting because the card in itself is not actually that big of a threat, right? It's a 0/6. It unlike the other structures in this game, it does not spawn other minions. Your opponent might think, okay, it doesn't do anything, let me just ignore it and go for something else. And this is, at this time, you can, if this happens, you are very happy because you can then play a bunch of dudes, buff those up, and then next turn these dudes trades favorably against your opponent's dudes. So what this means is this card is very slow, very slow. You have to play this card, it has to survive. You play other things, they have to survive. They basically survive, but only then afterwards they are really useful. So if the meta slows down enough, I think we will see this card in like those slow and control and very deliberate games where you don't want to rush phase, but you want to get most value out of your cards, and this Bastion does the exact job of giving you the value if you can keep it alive. If the enemy goes onto the Bastion, well, this card basically healed you for 5, paying only 3 mana. I think that's still fine. That's still okay, because no other minion in this game has 3 mana and 5 health. So that's still fine. It still slowed down the game because your opponent didn't go for your face. Okay, let's move on to the most interesting card of this patch. Alta Rex. Alta Rex, I hope it's Latin. It means the other king. So it's not the one and only king, but the other king. And what it does is whenever you summon a Mechazor, put a Mechazor in your action bar. The stats of this card is abysmally bad. 5 mana, 4/4. 4/4 is like 3.5 mana. So you're paying 1.5 mana for the effect. And this obviously is only usable in a Mechazor deck, which means it's already out for Gauntlet, because you can't really play Mechazor in Gauntlet. You can't consistently play Mechazor in Gauntlet. It's definitely only constructed, and the purpose of this card, I think, is also to slow down the game. Sehr gerne, sehr gerne. Mach mir einfach einen Kaffee. Danke dir. And right now there is only one way to play Mechazor currently, which is rush. You want to play as many mech dudes as possible, and then somehow rush out your Mechazor, either with what's its name, Vindicator for Magmar, or Venar has Spirit of the Wild. You somehow play Mechazor, and on the same turn you play Mechazor, it can attack, deals either lethal damage or just does some devastating board clears, and from there you try to win the game. With this card, however, you aren't forced to do that anymore. You can just play the mech. You can play this card, play a 1 or 2 mana mech minion, summon Mechazor, and your opponent has 2 threats on the board, because Alta Rex isn't too big of a threat, but it generates so much value that in the end it's a threat. And Mechazor, of course, is a big threat. Unless he has lethal, he has to remove one of those, and if he removes one of those, next turn you play another Mechazor, and whatever doesn't get removed deals damage, does some stupid things, and you put your enemy in a very difficult spot. What Alta Rex also does is it makes you more viable in the late game, so you don't have to focus as much on early game. Many mech decks nowadays use all the mech cards they can get, right? They want to increase their chance of playing Mechazor as much as possible. Like, they want to have like turn 4 Mechazor just because it's such a big body, it's so good, right? What Alta Rex makes, what is possible with Alta Rex is if you only have 6 or 7 Mechazor mechs in your deck, and other spots, free up other spots for good cards, you aren't forced to play out Mechazor as fast as possible anymore. You can like just play a normal game, and then when you have 9 mana crystals, suddenly play Alta Rex and get the Mechazor. Your opponent has spent his removals, has spent his dispels on your other mid-game threats, and can't deal with this card and the Mechazor anymore, and from there you just win the game. So I think this changes the mech game substantially, and I will definitely experiment with it. Oh yeah, Mechazor got changed from 5 mana into 7 mana, which I guess is a good change, because 5 mana 8/8 with all those keywords, that's just too OP. And small changes, you can read them, I'm not gonna go over them. I think yeah, in altogether this new patch is very little balancing. The new cards are very interesting. The purpose of those new cards, I guess, is to slow down the game, because not all of them do that, but the good cards do slow down the game, and I hope to see a slower and more control, more late game kind of duelist. I hope that's my wish, at least. So I hope my review helped you. I hope you gained more insight. If you don't agree, if you think I'm talking stupid things here, just tell me your opinion, tell me what you think these cards will do, and tell me how viable they are. Either in the comments here, or you can join my Twitch stream and tell it to my face so I can react immediately. Whatever you do, don't forget to click the subscribe button, hit the like button if you liked it, and show it to your friends who you think might enjoy this video. So have fun, see you next time, and goodbye.